hear what power my boat. They're 650 horsepower V8. But I also know somebody who uses huge engines to power his toys. Let's go and have a look. Hi Steve, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Is there any chance we could have a slight little look at what you've, little toys that you've got?
I should think so.
Oh,
Yeah,
lovely. Come on, I can't wait. Let's go.
I did hear you're a bit of a petrol head, so
well, yeah.
you might be interested in what we've got in here.
Can't wait. Hey, now that's what I call a tractor. I bet it wouldn't take long to plough a field with this little puppy. Okay, Steve, tell me all about this engine. We'll start at the front with this massive, great big engine.
Well, it's a Rover Meteor. Came from a Conqueror tank, or they were used in Conqueror or Centurion.
Yeah.
We've modified it quite a bit. We've made a new intake system. We've put a big, heavy ignition system on there, so we can run it on methanol rather than petrol, as it would have been if it intended to be run in the tank.
Yeah.
It's V12, 26 litres.
Yeah, 26.
Twin spark, sort of spark plug on the inlet side and on the exhaust side.
Right.
And we obviously need that to light the methanol, because you're putting in vast amounts of methanol, and you need a good spark to basically get it all on fire.
Yeah. So this thing will, you know, with all the ignition system that you've got on board, it's round the back here, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
This is incredible. Look at the lot of wire in there. How does all this work?
Well, we've got a fairly mighty ignition system. It's a capacitor discharge system,
Yeah.
Which sends a very big fat spark up to your distributors. We've got two distributors, obviously, for left and right hand bank,
Yeah.
inner and outer plugs. Sends it to the coils boost it on up again. Got really fat leads, because the spark that it's making will actually jump through a smaller lead.
Really?
So you need a well insulated lead,
Yeah.
to keep the spark inside the lead.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? It's not like you have in your car, is it? It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and how long have you had this, and how long did it take to build? And what started you in all this as well?
Well, we've been pulling for quite a few years now. We started back in the 80s,
Right.
and we started with diesels back in those days, and gradually progressed onto things like this. And a friend started a new class, this called Limited Modified, so we thought we'd have a go at that.
And did you when you drive this particular vehicle, or is it
I used to, but I've had to hand over to my daughter now.
Yeah, your daughter?
Yes.
How crazy is that? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
One to go in this class.
Oh, your tyres are worn down, they're a bit bold. I thought they would be like tractor tyres.
No, yes, that's what a lot of people think, that you've got to have a lot of tread to grip, but this works on a completely different principle. We actually cut the treads off,
Right.
so that we don't dig big holes.
Oh,
because
I
we're
see.
turning the wheels so fast, if you had a lot of tread, you'd be digging a big hole and forever driving out of the hole.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is done to stay on top of the ground
Right.
and pull with friction rather than grip.
Oh, right. Oh, that's completely different to what I thought, actually. Rhea, how does this machine operate?
Well, once you're all strapped in, you sort of put it in, well, you turn the ignition on first, which is a little switch down there, but the switch isn't on it at the
Right,
minute,
okay.
for safety reasons. That turns the yellow light on.
Yeah.
You make sure it's definitely not in gear, you don't want to go jumping and flying forward on it. And then it's all started up down at the bottom with Dad and his battery pack and getting everything going. That's your throttle there, so you push down on that. It's quite stiff really to pull on. And then you've got your transmission brake there, transmission clutch there, and your separate brakes right and left.
Right, okay.
To make steering that bit easier.
Okay, so you don't actually use the steering wheel like you would do in a car?
No, definitely not. It's not got as much sort of... You then got to pop it in gear and clutch, once the clutch is in and sorted, push the throttle down and go.
Right, come on. Don't stop.
what's the feeling like? What, you know, when all this lot sort of leaps into life?
It's amazing. The roar of the engine just gets you really sort of excited, and then once you start going, the front end's in the air and the adrenaline's pumping.
Cool.
It's just
so it gives you like a bit of a feel-good factor.
definitely.
Yeah.
Your dad knows the answer. Go under the bonnet. Throw that tractor.
Not only did you design, you've actually built this as well. Could you tell us all how it all works?
Well, basically, it's a weight transfer device. The big box on, well, the tractor's obviously hooked onto the front.
That's at the front.
Yeah, there's a great big chain on the front which is dropped in the eye on the back of the tractor, connected with a little safety kill wire which the operator can shut it down. Got a big steel plate on the front which we call the pan. That runs on the ground. Yeah. And the box on the top, the weight box.
Right.
That's full of weight iron. Yeah. That originally starts off at the beginning of the pole at the rear of the sledge.
All the way back here?
Right at the very back.
Wow.
So it's over the wheels.
Okay.
So when it's back there, it's reasonably easy to pull. And then as you travel down the track, the box is driven up the sled via the wheels where you're to.
Right here.
Through a series of gears and chains.
Yeah.
It's pulled to the front over the 100-metre run.
Right.
Progressively putting more and more weight onto the pan.
Yeah.
Making it harder to pull.
Oh right, so as the tractor pushes this along, the weight pulls up, and the whole lot compresses into the ground.
Yeah, it's like a big seesaw. It just basically presses this into the ground.
And then the tractor abruptly stops somewhere down the track.
Yeah.
Dominic on, full in here. In comes the boat.
To make it harder to pull, we basically add more weight to that weight box, so which imposes more downforce.
So it's just a box full of what, metal?
Iron, just
full of iron.
We've got like 75mm thick iron plates that go in there, and we just stack more or less to whatever is needed to overcome the force on the front. When it's full up, the box will contain about 7 tonne of iron.
Right, 7 tonne. Yeah. Wow. Does it tend to wheelie at the front, as they say, or?
Well, the tractor does, definitely.
The tractor does. This digs in and the tractor up it goes.
Yeah. Go on, Kevin. Where are you going? You know you can do it.
Well, Steve, thank you very much indeed for showing us your world and that, and fascinating. I mean, it's only a few people that get to do this, so I'd like to thank you very much for letting me in.
Yeah,
thank you very much indeed. Cheers.